Hello everyone and welcome back to my reaction of Psycho-Pass. This is episode 4 that we are watching, and I am pretty positive that this is the last episode that I have seen previously. So after this episode, the rest of it will be completely new stuff that I do not know about. So I'm excited for that. If you would like to see my full reaction of this episode and all the previous ones, you can head on over to patreon.com/XadeChronos or click the link in the description. You get a bunch of other cool perks and things like that. I want to give a shout out to all the other lovely people that are supporting me over there. Linda, Amber, and James. And if you want to get on that list, go and support me over there. And your name will be shouted out as well in these videos. And on top of that, I have been streaming Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, over on Twitch. If you want to see those videos, you can click the link in the description as well. All the previous streams are put onto YouTube afterwards too. So if you want to get caught up with me as I play. Without further ado, let's get on to the episode.
Our one rule in the Talisman Saloon is that we're not here to talk about ourselves, only the affairs of others. So careful with your phrasing. Okay, Lemonade Candy?
Okay. A friend of mine has found herself in quite the predicament, so I'd like to get your thoughts on her situation, Talisman. She recently began a tough job right after she graduated. The problem she's having stems from one of her co-workers. Well, actually, he's more of a senior colleague, but he's ranked beneath.
Their avatars in
It's
this
kind
look
of
so
tough to
weird.
explain, but they work together, and it's like she
What's
can't
up with those
avoid him.
hands?
He's an important part of her carrying out her job. So you think she's being unrealistic?
It sounds like she might want him to be something he's not. She needs to look past her surface assumptions to understand his true character. Step forward and share your troubles with me, Talisman. The difficulties of those cast adrift may seem hopeless, but the answers are already there, hiding within the stories you have to tell.
So cool.
So I don't understand his true character, huh?
Nobody knows your mask.
You want to ask me about Kogami, don't you?
How could you tell?
The way you seem to be connected by fate, I'd be curious too.
Someone told me I should try to understand him. And then someone else told me that I shouldn't consider him a human.
I can guess that advice came from Inspector Ginoza. It works for him. And I think it might be easier for you if you just stuck to your own side. If you really want to understand Kogami, the only way to do it is to see things the way he does and think like he does. And if you can manage to accomplish that, you'll find yourself in the dog pound with us. Your Psycho-Pass will have a reading identical to Kogami's. Gaze into the abyss, and the abyss also gazes into you.
Wow.
Just ask Kogami. He stared into the darkness too long. If you really feel so compelled to dive in after him, well, that's completely up to you. There's nothing I could say to change your mind.
The toilet in this apartment has apparently been broken for the past 2 months, and yet the tenant hasn't filed a single complaint. So the management company got suspicious and reported it to us.
Could he just be on an extended trip somewhere?
Not possible. Not with all the street scanners. We would have a tracking record of his movements. There's no way a person can get out of this city without leaving some kind of trace to follow.
Can we pull up the last interior holo design for this room?
Hold on a sec.
What? Why's this?
We all know you can't sit on a hologram. The whole point of the holography design is to line it up with the real couch. I think it's safe to say they were trying to hide that. Yep, leftover adhesive from tape.
And what does that mean?
That's the big reveal to the magic trick they pulled. Then they taped down a plastic sheet and went to work dismantling the body. Chopped him up enough to flush the pieces, which probably busted the toilet.
Pretty Dexter.
Mama must have put up a fight when they tried to kill him. Struggle left a scratch, and the adhesive residue is obviously left over from when they taped the sheet down.
It can't be.
Bring in old Masaoka if you don't believe me. He would have sniffed it out the moment he walked in here. Trust me. Can't fool a hunting dog's sense of smell. Let's check the plumbing for any traces of blood. We'll discuss more after that.
All right, then.
Fine
That guy
avatar
wants
Yama was
the
using? Talisman.
what are they called?
The dude must have had a pretty large fan base.
Oh,
That's
the hunting
why
dog
he knew
guys.
he could make serious money
That's
as an affiliate.
what they call themselves the most.
You know it?
But that guy never wants them to be right.
Yeah. I spoke with them for the first time just this morning.
They managed to find the remains of Hayama's body scattered throughout the sewers beneath his apartment. A round of applause, please.
So the guy's in countless pieces, but his commune field is still active. And someone is obviously posing as his avatar.
You got it.
So someone's claimed his identity?
I'm really not sure. It seems that way, but he was apparently screwing around with fake IPs back before he went missing.
What about tracking the access routes?
I don't know, but it's worth giving it a shot. They've got all sorts of paranoid measures in place to hide their clients' footsteps. We've got to track them carefully or they'll notice us.
We could very likely get him to drop some clues as to his real identity.
Right. Well, let's hunt down Hayama's avatar.
Making contact's a good idea, but who does it?
This imposter's been posing as him for 2 months. Running the Talisman commune field just as capably as the real owner this whole time.
Why is he a coin?
Nobody's noticed.
Looks like he's heading off to check out another commune field.
Okay, let's follow.
We've got to be careful in here. Spooky Boogie's notorious for being an anarchist. It could mean trouble if she finds out we're detectives.
Let's check their access logs. We can track their visitations that way.
Why is that his avatar?
Tsudomori?
Hello there, Miss Lemonade Candy. I'm the hostess of this fabulous commune field, Spooky Boogie. You're such an unexpected visitor. I had to invite you to my chat room. I hope it's not an inconvenience. I'm quite the fan of yours, Akane Tsunomori.
Who are you?
Well, if you really want to figure that out, you could start by scouring the pages of your old graduation album. I can't help but wonder why an inspector with the CID is scoping out my commune field. Nothing that really comes to mind as of late. But there was a period of time it was about 2 months ago he was acting strange. There were a couple of things that really stood out. He was speaking erratically and he kept holding events that
What's
were
with all the
clearly
syncs?
intended to get affiliate money. It was fuel on the fire for the Talisman haters. So are you doing an official investigation into him? Did Talisman do something wrong?
I can't really talk about the details. It's complicated, though. We need to physically track down and locate him. The person behind the avatar, I mean. Infamous anarchist Spooky Boogie working with the law? Wasn't expecting that.
That's just part of my public persona. And besides, we were classmates. Just leave this to me, okay? In addition, I will challenge my friend Talisman to a duel, a chance to win the white crown I currently hold. I hope to see all of you there.
His popularity will plummet if he backs out. Whoever's been posing as Hayama's avatar, they've got no choice but to be there.
I take back that masquerade ball comment I made earlier. It's a hell of a lot weirder than that.
They're packed like cigarettes into a place with only 2 exits, and they don't even know who's standing next to them. But this isn't virtual. You can bleed and die in here, and any of these costumed freaks could be carrying a knife on them. They're out of their damn minds, if you ask me.
That kind of thinking is exactly what causes your psychopaths to get so cloudy. Sorry, that was rude. It came out the wrong way.
It's okay. It's a legitimate point.
We can't get a read from here. Too many guests to clearly aim.
I'm gonna try to
Is that a
get closer to-
caterpillar in the back? That's so weird.
Well, crap. I knew it. Mr. Mito, you were right on the money. A Dominator was just detected out on the floor.
How are they able to detect the Dominators?
You better get out of there while you can. It'll royally muck things up if you get caught.
What's with that guy's eyes? Was it just reflection, or...?
Shit! What the hell just happened?
Someone hacked all the Holocaust play. The suspect's gonna run.
Damn it! Pull your Dominator. We'll root him out by his crime coefficient.
Coefficient over 110. Over 140. Target for
Jeez.
Crap! How many of them are there?
This went from covert to full-blown raid.
They spotted us.
Oh, so
If I was Sir, I would have turned that off immediately.
What the hell were you trying to pull with this meetup?
I had nothing to do with this raid. I'm just as upset about it as you are.
Judging by the way it went down. They must have been in the club before the party started. The only way that could happen was if the organizer was in on it. You've always touted anarchism as your guiding principle. One of the reasons so many love you, and yet you've colluded with the government against your own followers.
From the way it looked to me, you're the one they were after, Talisman. So if anyone's at fault here, it's you.
You've betrayed your fans, as well as your own character. You have no right to call yourself Spooky Boogie.
You have no right to say that. You don't know anything.
I know more about you than you could ever know about yourself.
Get anywhere near me again.
There's really no point in that. It's no longer your forum, and Spooky Boogie is
Jeez.
no longer your avatar either.
Ugh.
This woman had no right to carry on acting as Spooky Boogie. But Spooky Boogie shouldn't vanish from the net. With a little bit of crowd work, Spooky Boogie can still be used. The woman behind her can be flushed.
Jeez. How is he gonna be able to do the voice, though? That's what I'm curious about. I wonder if it's gonna show that. Another cool episode with this, and we got to see more of the futuristic technology and stuff. Their VR system is basically the VR system that we currently have, other than the gloves, although we are actually getting those soon, I think. I don't understand how people wouldn't notice the voice changing of Spooky Boogie. And it sounded like that guy sounded the same as Talisman, so I'm assuming he must have had a different voice before that. Not entirely sure. I don't know. I'm excited to watch the next one. It's finally an episode that I haven't seen yet. Or I don't remember, at least. And it seems like this is the first episode that isn't concluding in that episode, so it's going to be carrying over. So I wonder how long this kind of story is going to last, if it's just going to be like 2 episodes or longer. We will see. I'm excited for that. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. I will see all of you guys next week.